And good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to Kingsport 1927. Last week we had a very interesting setup, so tonight we're going to try and just knock all those dominoes down. I am assisted, as always, by my wonderful friends in the Kingsport Drama Society. With one exception tonight, Serafina had a conflict and couldn't make it at the last minute. So we miss her, and we will hope that she will watch this, because I think you guys are the only people that watch these. In the meantime, let me introduce everybody. Why don't we start with my absolute favorite Kingsport drama queen, Daryl, who is playing Phoebe Greenwood, who is our Serpentine.
Hello, hello. My name is Daryl. My pronouns are he, him, and I am playing Phoebe Greenwood, the latest and greatest in a long line of Greenwoods who just won't quit, no matter how many people want them to. It's fine. It's great. So last time we established that Phoebe Greenwood, who is the Serpentine, has a look that is sleek and skittish, eyes that are darting, and an origin from old money. Basically, the Greenwoods are always up or down in Kingsport. They're never in the middle. This time we're pretty down. So we have all of our former money from the railroad tied up in this preparatory school named after us, and that's kind of hamstrung us for basically any kind of clout. My dear mum, Cordelia, wants me to marry well and go off to Miskatonic University that's recently allowed women back in so that I can bring some power back to the family name. But all I want to do is go and live a jazzy flapper lifestyle because I feel like that's the least I deserve. I mean, I'm such a fabulous looking girl. As you can tell, Phoebe is maybe not the brightest tool in the shed, but she means well, at least for now. And we will, last time she decided to throw a party because that horrible Doreen like tried to throw a better party than mine. So of course I had to usurp her by throwing an impromptu party of my own that I had not planned in any way. I'm sure it will go fine. It's great.
Everything goes fine in Kingsport. So, are you saying that you are expected to go to MU to get your MRS? What? It's a classic. It's a classic. Well, we go next to Leandro, who is playing yet another sad girl with the
I,
initials AM.
I don't know if this one's that sad. Maybe in a more pathetic sense. We'll see. Hi, name's Leandro. Use he pronouns. Yes, continuing my Kingsport tradition of these. Yeah, I guess they're kind of sad. Girls with the same initial. This one is Agnes Murphy, who is the witch, who has a coy look, calculating eyes. She gained her magical powers and know-how from a lot of avid reading, which came from just digging around Kingsport. This mostly was spurred by finding out that her stuffy parents, specifically her kind of like somewhat not controlling, overbearing, but just what she considered crusty and out of touch mom, had a sordid past, trafficking with those that go bump in the woods. And so Agnes is taking that as basically cue to, well, if you did this and you didn't tell me, I'm just gonna do what you did and screw all of you. So last time she was basically not dealing with this party nonsense. Wandered into into the local drugstore, ran into a flapper, got drunk with said flapper, and it's like, hey, I'm Kingsport's nice enough, but I can show you something really magical. And she was up for it apparently, so we'll see the results of that. Also, her big project, which is to create a portal out of here. To where? I don't know. But specifically out of Kingsport was found by our other characters present with us. And, well, ramifications of that still reverberate. So looking forward to seeing what's going to happen.
There are conceivably a bunch of your AMs still floating out there.
Both of them could still be around.
Oh, well, no, we know Aphra is.
Oh yeah. But whatever happened to Alice? Is she still in Europe?
I don't know, but they named a room after her at
what?
the in Kingsport 1894 there was a McBride room at the local reading club.
Oh Jesus.
It worked out well. They had copies of all the classics, like The King in Yellow, also Le Roi en Jaune, also El Rey en Giallo. It was very, very stocked library.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll deal with that news.
I mean, there's no back like callback. I mean, it's pretty much my modus operandi at this point. So let's next go to my dear friend, the person I continue to play so many games with, even when we are separated by global pandemics and the East River. Please let's welcome Lisa, who is playing Vrijeme Strani, who is our Cerberus.
Lisa Paddle, she, her pronouns, playing Vrijeme Stani. Yes, I played linguistic games. It happens. Vrijeme has the look of trailer trash and has judgy eyes. He is one of the antibodies of time, aka a Hound of Tindalos in a human body. The Greenwoods have said he's a distant cousin, and he has not contradicted them. Time being time and relative, he may be a relative, right? He's promised to bring some wine, well, some of the good stuff that technically would be legal if you had it in your family's cellar because of how the letter of prohibition works. And if that involves maybe going into a fold in time, well, no one has to know he's strayed from his mission briefing, right? He just wants to make sure nobody opens up any time gates because that's bad. And he's explained that to Agnes, who I'm sure completely understands and will never do such a thing.
Wait, Hounds of Tindalos have mission briefings?
Well, no, we have more like a perception of a burp in the mathematical stream.
Okay. I feel when you said that you're a relative because time is relative, an ex-Swiss patent clerk had a massive headache and didn't know why. Okay. So last time we left off with Agnes. So I think it's only fair to start this time with Phoebe, who we had last seen having a perfectly normal, completely uncomfortable dinner party at her home, and now is leaving to go to a party. You invited Finn to go, didn't you? Or
Of course, yes.
okay, great. This is going to work out great. So this is held at the academy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think we usually threw it in the gymnasium, but now that I have a real life flapper coming, I moved it to the theater.
Ooh, how artistic! You got plenty of teacups to keep your bathtub gin in.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm sure that the kitchen staff won't mind that we borrowed literally everything in the cafeteria.
Wow, noblesse oblige, c'est toi. Cool. So who else is supposed? So if I recall correctly, wasn't what's his name? The jock supposed to come? Calvin.
Yes, Calvin was supposed to come because I believe, who was it, Marjorie or was it Eliza? So one of them was just basically like, I need boys there, and
yes, that was Eliza. Wait, not Eliza.
No, it was
Millie.
Millie.
Millie, yes.
And it was
Millie.
Wendy who convinced Calvin to come.
Yeah.
So that Millie would come.
Wendy's gonna stand up Calvin, so that's interesting. Or did she?
I mean, she's a unicorn. Is she capable of standing up someone by choice?
I mean, I'm sure that it was only the most dire of circumstances that would have kept her from keeping her promise, and we'll hear all about it next week.
Yes, but I think you misconstrued. Perhaps what I meant by or did she? Because a unicorn would probably never stand up anyone without having a good excuse. That would just be rude. But that doesn't mean she might not be unable to come. So, I think as you're setting up, in walks Calvin with Millie Pembleton on his arm.
Okay, well, I was not really up on the logistics of this whole thing, so I'm just going to count this as a success. I'm sure that Tommy will be here any minute with extra booze, and Vrijeme said that they were going to bring some booze as well, and we've got a gramophone that we've raided from the headmaster's study. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. Everything is fine. So Millie is looking around like, is this the party? It's kind of dead.
Well, of course, it hasn't started yet. You've arrived far too early. I just assumed that no one worth their salt would show up for at least another 45 minutes.
Did you just say worth their salt to me?
Realizing they have committed a terrible Kingsport faux pas. No, Phoebe is completely oblivious to it, and decides it's fine, and starts pouring out the contraband booze that they've been able to gather so far, and basically is like, yes, and we have the gramophone going. As soon as more people arrive, I'm sure they'll be dancing.
All right, well, I'll drink your whiskey. She just keeps looking at you, though, a little fish-eyed.
This is why I never invite Millie Pembleton to anything.
Vrijeme, so you're bringing some wine?
Well, old stuff, yes. Stuff from an earlier now.
I see. Okay. The Puritans didn't drink, so you got a really narrow band you're aiming at here.
Well, I'll have to aim carefully. I'm sure there was a point in the now when someone had brought bottles from the other side of what they call the pond.
Yes, sure.
So I just have to aim for that now.
Oh my god.
It's not that hard, really. It's just math.
Please roll to keep your cool.
I rolled a 7 and my cold is +1, so 8.
Oh, fantastic.
I mean, I've done this before.
Oh, have you?
Well, okay, not precisely this.
Okay. Your choice. You get something that's inferior to what you wanted, or you change the timeline in a perceptible way.
I can't get something inferior.
Okay.
Maybe wouldn't like that, and Wendy might be disappointed, and I cannot disappoint Wendy.
Okie dokie. I'm just gonna hold on to that for a second. All right, so you just sort of are there, and you shock the hell out of Finn. He's like, "Whoa, where did you come from?"
I brought something good. It is good, yes? I show the label.
Yeah, that's got to be 100-year-old Scotch.
I put it down because, well, I know Phoebe has a way these things are supposed to be poured, and I still haven't quite mastered that.
Okay, so Phoebe, Vrijeme is here now?
Oh, Vrijeme, I didn't even hear you come in. Oh, and what is this very expensive-looking scotch? Oh,
It is good stuff, and it should be legal.
yes, of course, definitely legal. We would never do anything illegal here. But yes, let me pour some of this out. And so I pour Finn a very generous like glass of scotch because I actually don't know how to pour scotch.
Like,
Yeah, I'd probably like top it up to the top and just like
whoa,
give it
whoa,
to
whoa! Hey, kid. Let me sip this for a while. You don't have to pour that kind of a slug.
Oh, well, I just want to make sure everyone's having a good time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is your party, huh? Boy,
Yes.
I definitely couldn't have missed this for the world.
Oh, well, I'm sure that they must have much nicer parties at Miskatonic.
I mean, yeah, we've had some barn burners up at MU, yeah, especially after the homecoming game.
And so, well, and it's so interesting that you're spending all of your time down here during the semester. And I know you said that you were keeping your uncle busy, but I was just wondering, well, if there's any other reason you might be doing it. Is the course load too easy, too hard?
Well, Philip was my roommate, and they give you the semester off if your roommate gets killed. So
There's an official policy for that. Oh.
yeah, Miskatonic's weird that way. They actually have a policy on this one.
So you have more now.
Bosnian's your first language, right?
Math.
You'll get used to it. Vrijeme is still picking up the intricacies of English.
Yeah, the American idiom, huh? Okay. Interesting. Well, it's a shame that your father couldn't be there tonight, but I'm sure my uncle will keep your mother busy.
Oh yes, there's nothing Mumsy loves more than a good-hearted discussion on comparative philology.
Yeah.
Don't worry, that was my reaction as well.
Yeah. I mean, strange that your father was called away at the last minute and missed dinner. Strange.
Oh, no, that's very normal. There's always something going on, being a part of the town council or running a school or, Kingsport is still a small little place at heart, and we want to make sure that it gets taken care of.
He's probably a member of some organization like the Shriners or something, right?
She looks confused and then says, and thinks it's probably some sort of like important thing. It's like, of course. Daddy is definitely involved in all of the most exclusive clubs and organizations.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of weirdo groups like that in Miskatonic. They wanted me to join Skull and Squid, but I really wasn't interested.
I'm sorry, that's great.
The hits keep coming, folks.
Yeah, Phoebe continues to look like vaguely dazed and not sure what you're talking about, but has this this yearning feeling of needing to try and work something out. So I think what she does is takes I think she pushes what was his name again? Finn. Yes, pushes Finn over to the side, and we're just gonna throw the monster right into this, and over to the side, into the wings of the stage, and says, Okay, well, this isn't getting me anywhere. So I have to ask you a really honest question. And then she blinks and her eyes go golden. And she attempts to mesmerize him. So when you stare at someone without blinking, roll plus hot.
Well, that would be hysterical.
That's an 8. Okay. Even with my +2 hot, it's an 8. Okay. It's better than a fail. It's fine. Okay, so on a 7 to 9, so on a 10 up, they freeze until you blink or someone touches them, and afterwards they don't really remember anything unusual. But on a 7 to 9, it still works, but only if you hiss loudly the entire time, and they definitely know something weird happened. Damn it. Yes, so Phoebe's voice takes on this kind of like lilting, slithery sound as the voice of the forest, not necessarily as a snaky kind of thing, but it's that same kind of like the wind through the branches kind of lilt that it takes when I gaze into the abyss, and very breathily says, "Why are you really here? What are you really looking for?"
Find out what happened to Phil.
What is so important about this dead roommate of yours?
Wait, we're very close, and then we went hunting in that house, and something came out of the angle of the house. I don't understand it.
Are you investigating this on your own, or is your uncle involved as well?
Uncle, he knows people, weirdos. He knows people in the comparative literature department.
Phoebe, keeping her gaze, lifts the tumbler with a finger and pushes it towards his lips and just says, "Drink up as much as you can."
Whoa. Oh, that stuff really hit hard. It's good booze.
She just kind of like keeps tipping the glass to make sure that he gulps. She's trying to get him like smashed.
Oh, hey, okay. Hey.
Vrijeme going to try to drink the way he's seeing Finn drinking,
Oh, great.
since clearly this is the way humans drink, right?
Okay. Phoebe, you roll plus hot, and Vrijeme, you roll plus cold.
Let's see. Okay, well, that's an 11 for me this time.
7.
So, take your string and tell me what reaction you want Finn to have. And Vrijeme, if you drink, you can drink like Finn and nobody will think it's weird, in which case you will get massively drunk. Or you can stop, but it will look weird.
I get massively drunk, obviously.
Good. Nothing bad will happen here. I'm wondering if there's a round room in this house. Yes.
No, there probably is a round room in the Greenwood house, but we're in the theater.
Actually, it's my job to choose what Finn does, isn't it?
Mhm.
So, okay. It's like that little switch turns on and he goes into full hitting on you mode. It's like, listen, I know you're 18, right?
Yes, just turned this spring.
Uh-huh. Great. You wanna sir? I mean, there's a backstage, isn't there?
Oh, are you asking what I think you're asking?
I mean, yeah. Well, let's go pet for a while.
Oh gosh. Phoebe, there's like a number of mental calculations that are happening in Phoebe's brain right now. The first of which is, this could have gone worse. There's jazz playing in the background. There's bubbles freely flowing, and this is decently attractive. And also, he seemed to be investigating the secrets of this town and is mumbling off a whole bunch of occult stuff that Daddy talks about, and I don't really pay attention to, but probably is important. So I think I lace my fingers through his and say, "Oh, not the backstage. There's much nicer places that we can abscond to."
Great. So, Agnes, you're beneath Kingsport Head, huh? From what I got last session, you're kind of down by the beach, I guess?
Yeah. So waves. It's night. I've put out. If I remember correctly, there was a table in the basin, which Agnes is mostly used to sober herself up from drinking all of that whiskey. So she's just kind of like looking out into the sea, waiting. Because she already said that, like, even if Chloe doesn't show up, she's going to be there.
You are probably not too far from a place where a previous Phoebe Greenwood once did a very stupid and powerful thing. Excellent. So after a while, you see a flashlight bobbing down the beach towards you, and Chloe staggers into view. Like, this was a little bit out of the way, don't you think?
A bit, yes. I was wondering if you were curious enough to come. It's a nice little place.
Yeah, I'm curious. You got anything to wet a whistle? Because I'm parched after such a long journey across the sands.
I think Agnes probably prepared a glass, not just got some water. I don't think she has any booze. Wish I had something stronger for you. I don't get the same kind of freedoms you seem to have, Miss Bonton.
What are you, a Methodist aunt? All right, fine.
Well, more like parents who did some sordid things that kind of regret it, and so they don't want me to be doing them. And now they're all making sure I don't do anything fun.
Parents, what do they know, right?
Exactly. Your parents seem to let you do whatever you want.
Oh, well, I'm older than you. I'm almost 21. And, Dad's always busy down at Wall Street, keeping our money, and Mom is busy ordering the servants around, and they want me to go out and be well-rounded, and, so I'm going out there and rounding myself.
Do you feel well-rounded, as they say?
Well, not about well-rounded. I feel well-watered a lot.
It just strikes me odd that you're paddling with someone like a professor from MU.
Oh, yeah, well, you fall in with people, and, it's like a charity case. I'm giving him a little money to do his research, and, so I get to tag along and meet all the boring people and drive around New England and look at all these towns. Oh, look, this town was founded in 1690. Well, they ain't done nothing with the place since, very obviously, if you ask me.
Well, if you look at it in that way, yeah, not much happens here. But you gotta dig deeper, Miss Bonton, if you want to find the really interesting stuff.
Yeah, well, you said you were going to show me something. So far, you've shown me is a beach, which I've seen before. We got a beach at Newport.
I think Agnes is going to... I'm not sure if I'm going to be a Call of Cthulhu NPC. I'm going to take Chloe's wrist. Can I pull her a bit closer? The table in the basin was just to sober up Agnes. It has nothing to do with what she's about to do, which is casting a hex.
Ooh, we're getting comfortable.
Oh, hopefully, well, depending on how you feel, we might get even more or even less comfortable. And I think Agnes looks straight into Chloe's eyes because it says here, the way to cast Hex, either expend a token or meet the target's gaze and chant at them in tongues. I don't have anything of hers, so I'm just gonna do this straight up. Let's do this. If this is like say whoever's playing Chloe, this is the second session. They're about to go get into some terrible stuff. I don't know how Call of Cthulhu is played, so I'm talking out of my ass.
No, you're pretty accurate.
Okay. Sorry, as long as Lisa was saying social skills, credit rating. Who cares about that?
Technically, that's Trail of Cthulhu. So. Well, no, not complete. No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. You're right. It can also be Call of Cthulhu. I have a bias towards Trail.
Yeah. I think.
What hex are you trying to cast?
She wants to see something interesting, so I'm gonna show her some demonic visages through all these illusions. Yeah.
Please to roll plus dark.
Hell yeah. Go.
Since you're one of them dark witches.
I rolled an 8.
Plus 2 is 10.
Oh, sorry, I rolled a... I rolled an 8 in the dice. Yeah, 5 plus 3. I forgot to add my plus 2. So yes, that is a 10.
Okay. So it can be easily reversed. Okay. Fantastic. So
I have no control over the images, which is great.
Demonic visages. Yeah, but you can tell me what you're going for here.
Yeah, I think Agnes, even though she knows quite a bit about some of the creepier stuff in Kingsport, she doesn't know everything. Like, she can't. No one can. So what she's doing is like she's almost like opening herself up for any sort of creature to like, hey, here's a peek through to another person through me. She's that reckless. Why don't you like peep in and maybe you can hop from me to this person since we've got a connection going on. She's advertising basically. If you want anything more specific, I can keep going.
No, that should do the trick. So rising up from the way, do you get to see the illusions too, or is it just Chloe?
I don't think so. It just says the hex sees that thing everywhere. You have no control over the exact images or manifestations.
Okay, so Chloe just starts pointing out the water, and you're like, heads in the waves. Oh God, they've got like fish eyes.
I think Agnes holds on to Chloe's wrist and just asks, "What kind of heads? What kind of eyes?"
They got crests and fish eyes, and they're covered with scales, and they got teeth, and they're pointing at me, yelling at me. They want me to come with them under the water. No, sir.
I'm gonna keep holding on to her wrist, and it just says, "Funny. Whenever I pull this trick off, they never want to speak to me. They always want to speak to whoever I'm speaking to. Miss Bonton, what are they yelling? Tell me what they're yelling. What are they telling you?"
Saying that they need people to renew their blood. Why would people be called salt? That doesn't make no sense. I'm telling you, it don't make no sense. She starts yelling at the waves. Like, all right, I'm sorry. Sheesh, touchy. You'd think with such hard skin, you wouldn't be so freaking touchy.
You'd think. They've got an advantage over us in the seas, aren't they?
Okay, I've seen enough. Make it go away.
I think Agnes clicks her fingers. I can't do that. I can't click my fingers. And she's doing it as she's waving in front of Chloe's eyes, and that'll kind of take the film off.
Oh, holy cow! That was. What did you do? How did you do that?
Oh, just you never know what you can do when you start poking around and digging deeper. I hope that was interesting for you.
Yeah, it was. And she just looks at you and says, You see all that, Jack? And a flashlight turns on. And this kind of big menacing guy with a fedora and stubble, kind of wearing like a rundown gray suit, just steps forward. Like, yeah, I caught it.
I think Agnes kind of defensively move towards the basin away from Chloe and says, "Oh, is this one of your professor's friends? Your friends?"
Yeah. Our relationship is complicated and not really well stated at the moment. But right now, what it is Jack is a guy who carries a gun habitually and is here to protect me.
Oh, protect you in what? Is he going to shoot me?
Jack's like, well, I mean, I could. If you try and pull that, whatever you pulled on Chloe on me.
I'm not going to do anything. I asked Chloe if she wanted to see something, and I delivered. That's all I did. I didn't give her anything she didn't want. Agnes saying as she's backing away. Throws into the basin.
Not so fast there, Missy. We should talk about what's going on in this town. What do you know? Where are the books?
I think Agnes, would she know? Probably not. What books? What going on? You're gonna have to be more specific.
There's always books, and you can see him reaching in his pocket, in his jacket. And Chloe's like, "Easy, Jack. Easy, Jack. This ain't Chateau Thierry, okay?"
I'm just asking for more info. If I know what books you're looking for, I can help.
You're one of them, and Jack's just pointing at you. You're one of them weirdos.
You're gonna have to be more specific again. There's many types of weirdos in this town.
There's many types.
Well, yeah. There's weirdos like me who pick this up wherever. There's fish people, apparently.
Jack looks out of the water.
And who knows what else. I don't know what you were thinking coming here, but you might have walked into something you didn't want to, sir.
All I know is that there's a line between humanity and whatever else is out there. And we gotta walk that line. So you gotta tell me whose side you're on. Are you on the side of humanity or on the side of the others?
I think, this is kind of the point where Agnes is like, okay, he's talking bullshit. I'm going to get out of here. I don't care for what he's saying. This is a kind of, oh man, my volatile is really bad. Yeah, I can't really do hexing unless he looks at me and I start chatting. He's going to shoot me.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. So I think Agnes' plan is to chuck the basin at him.
And then run away?
And then run away. I think
the
last thing, the last thing she'll say before I roll. Yeah, I can't. The nice thing with this game is there's a runaway move. I can just roll that. The last thing Agnes says is just okay, so you're one of those people. It's either one side or the other. Well, that's incredibly boring. Because, sir, I don't know if you could tell, it's not really two sides. It's more 4, 5, 10, 20. It's a many-angled kind of situation. Chuck the basin. I'm going to roll.
Well, this will be entertaining then.
Yeah. Man, even before, applied stat.
Please mark experience.
Okay.
I think I will get back to you. So Vrijeme, you're alone at the party. Millie is dancing with Calvin. There are some other kids who are hanging around, not kind of knowing
Nobody
what to do.
likes dancing with me, which is really weird because I hit the beat exactly,
Oh my god.
precisely, every time, and they say it's wrong.
Yep. No, that's correct. That's correct. I think Marjorie kind of wanders in, like she looks like she's about to say something to the effect of, "What's all this racket?" And then she looks around like, "There's a party."
Did you want something? Do you want something to drink?
How come I never get invited to parties?
You're here. Weren't you invited? You
No,
must
I
be
was
invited.
studying. I have special permission to stay and use the library so that I can win that which belongs to me, the valedictorianship.
Oh. So you do not want to drink?
Well, I didn't say that.
I pour her a drink.
It takes like, I don't know booze that well. This is pretty good, isn't it?
Yes.
Huh.
It makes the numbers come alive.
So, how is it that you're so good at math and you can barely talk?
Numbers are easy.
Numbers are not easy. I've been struggling to stay ahead of my calculus all year.
Calculus? I start scribbling an equation. What am I scribbling it on? Well, I'm trying to scribble it on the counter in some of the booze.
Wait, what? I can't. What do you do?
I'm trying to calculus. So if you've got the sigma with 1 to n times the square root of I.
Wait, no, I can't follow that integration.
You know arithmetic. You know algebra. This is only one step further.
It looks like there would be infinite space under that curve. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, countable or uncountable infinities, it makes a difference.
Okay, Euler. Yeah, I know the difference between those two.
And it's hard to wrap the mind around infinity because it is infinite even when it's countable. So you sort of have to step sideways.
Step sideways? How can you step sideways on it?
Vrijeme will try to demonstrate. I have no idea
Christ.
why that.
Roll to keep your cool.
4!
Okay. So Vrijeme, you step sideways and you realize immediately you've made a mistake. Have you ever tried to do this in the Greenwood school before?
No.
Okay. You step into a space, a multi-angled, multi-dimensional space, and you're not alone.
Who's there?
You're not sure. They are dimensionally indistinct, but they haven't noticed you yet.
How curious. Vrijeme tries to study them.
You suddenly get a sense that they know you're here, and they rush at you.
You know, I should be some other where now to think about this.
Is your roll to run away?
That's a 12 before I subtract anything. And my volatile's -1, so it's still an 11.
Okay, that's fine. You stumble back out, and Marjorie's just looking at like, well,
Curious. There were will be other entities in the angles?
what? Just there are other entities in the angles. Yes, they're all making out.
Making out what?
She points at the corners, and people are just paired up together.
Oh, no, that's foreplay.
She just throws her drink in your face for being so forward and walks away.
I look after her very confused.
So Phoebes, I guess you're in a better room. What is this better room?
Oh, we are out in like the gardens behind the school. Like there's a gazebo and yeah.
Yes, I know. I can see it. I see. Do you know do you cast no alignment on the gazebo? Sorry, I couldn't resist. We have our traditions. Okay, so when you and Finn come up for air, he's just kind of looking around like, so no offense, but your family, how do they have a place like this? I mean, I saw where you were living. Everything is like 50 years old.
Oh, well, that is because my family is either incredibly lucky or incredibly unlucky. And about 50 years ago, we were very lucky. We had our own railroad line. It was a very prosperous time for the Greenwoods, and now not so much.
Where's your family from, anyway?
Oh, we've been in Kingsport practically since the 1600s.
Because I think I met a Greenwood from Dunwich once. Would that be a relative?
I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
Nobody in my family would come from Dunwich. That's terrible. Dunwich is a very weird town.
I've heard it. I believe it didn't do very well during the witch trials.
Oh, well. There's all kinds of weird stories about the people that founded that town.
Well, glad I've never been.
There's not much there. It's just this one weird farmer guy on the outskirts of town. His grandfather was cracked too, apparently. They're all cracked in that family.
Well, as I said, no relation.
Yeah, no, he had a different name, Wheatley or something like that. Anyway. Okay. Well, and then he realizes what he's been doing, kind of slowly everything starts to wear off. He's like, yeah, I should probably be going. It's probably not a great idea for me to get caught here or anything, right?
Oh, most certainly not. I'm sure that my father would be most displeased.
Yeah. Well, I should get back to my boarding house then, I guess.
Yes, well, feel free to stay and have a little bit more to drink if you'd like. I must be going. I must resume my hostess duties.
Okay.
Oh, and Finn.
Yes.
I would very much like to see you around again before you leave town.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we're going to run into each other because, my uncle's going to be down at the prep so often.
Well, make sure that you stop by for dinner sometime.
Yeah, and he just sort of stumbles away. So Agnes, you go blundering up the head into the woods towards the crest, and as you crest the hill and dodge around those weird depressions in the earth that people don't know exactly what we're there for, and around those weird standing stones that people don't ever even want to freaking talk about, you can hear a couple people talking up ahead, and one of them, you recognize the voice immediately, is the headmaster.
I'm gonna try to slow down and quiet my pace. Which is probably hard in the woods.
Yeah, why don't you roll to keep you cool there? Thanks.
Yeah.
This will go very well.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be a learning experience for you.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm afraid of being caught. Not that Agnes' mind immediately went from I nearly got shot to, oh, cool stuff happening in the woods. Oh, my cold is bad. I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah. Your cold is bad. So, have an XP. So, you can hear Mr. Greenwood talking, and he's like, I assure you, I know nothing about her trying to leave. That's none of my affair. And according to you, we can do nothing and are supposed to do nothing. And this woman's voice says, that isn't exactly the question here. And then she stops and says, well. Agnes Murphy, what are you doing in the woods? Come out, child.
I think Agnes is kind of coming to the scene, trying to look chill, failing to look chill. She looks bedraggled. I think some water has slapped on her front. She looks like she ran through the woods. I'm not interrupting anything. Actually, what is she? Who is this woman?
She is quite possibly the most elegant person you have ever seen in your life. She's tall, skinny, has deeply tanned skin. Her eyebrows are manicured exceptionally. She has long, thick, glossy black hair. She's wearing all black. It's like this severe, almost like a suit, it looks like to you. And she's got a walking stick, which is weird, that she's kind of leaning on, and it's very intricately carved. And there's some kind of there's something winding around the outside of the stick.
I'm not interrupting anything important, am I?
Oh, Agnes, you can never interrupt me. You literally can't. But no, I'm always delighted to see you, child. How interesting that we should run into each other in this of all nights, and this of all subjects. What, pray tell, were you doing down there, child?
She's brushing her hair back, making herself look a bit more presentable. Stupid stuff. Childish stuff, honestly. I may have put a target on my back, ma'am.
How unfortunate. Of course, that comes of not taking precautions, doesn't it, Agnes, my dear?
All due respect, ma'am, precautions are all I've known, and I just thought to try something else.
That's the problem with you autodidact girls. It's always the girls, too. The men always find some other sorcerer that they admire, and they work together in a clearly platonic and not at all erotic manner. Because there's nothing erotic about running around the woods, holding a staff. No, it's always the girls who find the little books, and they read them and go, oh, I can do magic too, just like Mumsy. But the problem is if you don't have a teacher, then you forget. And when you forget, you make mistakes. And mistakes, Agnes dear, are very dangerous when you're playing with what you're playing with. But you know that, don't you?
I just thought I could handle those mistakes when they come,
Well,
one step at a time.
for one thing, your pronunciation of ancient Egyptian is pathetic. I mean, you had the grammatical gender of ptah completely wrong, which, yeah, I don't take any particular offense because gender is just something that you see. But honestly, if you're going to do something, do it right. And if you're going to
sorry.
cast magic on Kingsport Head in the middle of the night, know who you're talking to and say their name correctly. Because you know what they say, Agnes, my dear. Whenever 2 or 3 of you are gathered in my name, I am with you. Somebody stole that from me once. I was very annoyed.
Well, it's like you said, I don't have a teacher. I didn't think there'd be anyone in Kingsport who would have been interested.
Oh,
Who knew enough.
and yet you go to dear Philly's preparatory academy. Philip, why did you not tell me you had such a promising young witch? And he's just kind of pale, like, I didn't. I mean, I knew. Of course I knew. Sorry, Lord. And she just kind of brushes him off and comes over to stand next to you and just lifts you up under the chin. Mm-hmm. Yes. You're one of those all or nothing girls, aren't you, Agnes?
Why settle for less?
I foresee either you shall live a long life of malice and witchcraft and probably enjoying yourself thoroughly, if I have anything to say about it, or you'll burn out in a blaze of glory.
I just want to be certain that whatever end I get, every choice I made was mine.
Oh, wait. That's that free will thing you're always talking about. Nattering on about it constantly. And that's what about my free will. My free will. You can't keep my free will. My dear, every choice you make is contingent. The mass of the trillions and trillions of quadrillions of atoms in the local space-time curvature all have some impact on the choices you make. What is free will? Can I see it? Can I smell it? Can you show it to me? Perhaps I could pull it out of your head, though. That might be fun. Should I try?
Go ahead. I think Agnes is looks fed up now. She's being belittled. She gets enough of this at home. And she says, "Go ahead then, ma'am. Forgive me for saying so, but this patter sounds old."
It is old. It's older than the human race. I mean, that's not old as things go, but you guys think it is. So, I mean, when on Earth, do as the Earthlings do, except for the part where you're a miserable, horrible creature that doesn't know anything from, doesn't know your ass from your own elbow and thinks in 4 dimensions. I'm sorry. It's just...
Yes, it's hilarious. We're quite blinkered. We're tiny. Is that all Is that all you have to say to us, ma'am?
Well, now, aren't you the most curious of monkeys, the kind that stands up on your hind paws and actually gives me a little lip? Historically, I've liked your kind for a while. I'll tell you a secret, Agnes Murphy. Would you like me to tell you a secret? Not everybody likes my secrets, but this one is not too bad, actually.
I'm interested.
All right. Yes, you are blinkered. But that is how you can succeed at even anything. You see, it's not your fault, poor dears. Your human brains are so limited that you couldn't understand even the smallest fraction of the true state of play in the universe. And yet, despite that, you bloody jumped up apes are just narrow visioned enough that you can actually do the occasional thing. It's remarkable. It's like your Dr. Johnson said. It's like a dog preaching a sermon. It doesn't matter how good the sermon is. The fact that it's done at all is astounding.
Yeah, Agnes kind of just smiles like despite herself. Well, how can we help it? Visions are narrow, but there's things just in the corner of our eyes, and we can't help but try to find them.
You can't help it. If you could help it, I would not be here. But
Why
I
are you
am.
here?
I have this assignment. Monkeys of planet Earth. Hurrah. Why am I here? I am just talking to my dear colleague and associate, Phil, who signed my book, what is it now, 40 years ago, Philip? Family tradition. You, Agnes, have not signed my book. And I know. It's a little old-fashioned, but this is Kingsport. Everybody's a little old-fashioned, and a lot of you are very old. So,
And you just let anyone sign your book?
oh no. Well, I mean, I guess anybody could if they really wanted to. They probably wouldn't like it unless they were prepared for it somewhat. But, historically, warlocks and witches have been reasonably cognizant of what they were getting into, if they lived long.
Then, well, I suppose, why are they so compelled? What's in it for us?
How would you like me to answer that? Because, what's in it for you is pain, senescence, and death, but I mean, that's in it for you all the time. If you mean what advantage you'll get from signing the book, well, you'll make fewer mistakes of transcription, as it were. It's a very dangerous thing not to call upon me when you do magic, Agnes, my dear. I mean the real magic, none of this artsy-fartsy fairies running in the woods type thing. I mean the real magic, like what you're trying to do. A portal.
I mean, I'm not keen for all the condescension, but if it will shut you up a bit, I'll take you up on that offer.
Oh, golly gee willikers. Lucky me. Look, I want you to think about it. If you agree, meeting me here at midnight on Kingsport Head. Or, if you want, I'll come to your room or something. But midnight on Kingsport Head, I mean, look, if you're going to do the thing, right, it should be done.
Fine. Midnight when?
Tomorrow? Would tomorrow work for you? I have literally most of space-time that I can pencil you in for.
Tomorrow will be fine.
I mean, we could do Wednesday in the Middle Ages if you'd prefer.
Tomorrow will be fine.
Very well. Very good. Oh, run along, Agnes, because people are chasing you with guns. And you are outside your house.
I'm going to turn in. I don't think I have time to go to Phoebe's party. I'm just going to turn in.
I had a weird night, Mom. Good night.
I'm not telling her shit. She doesn't tell me shit.
Isn't it your mom's books you read, though?
Yeah, well, she's spent years disavowing all that nonsense for various reasons, which I still haven't pulled out of my pocket.
Yeah, well, maybe no for you now. Kind of people the company you have to keep in this town. So, Phoebe, tell me about your room at your house.
Well, I mean, what can I say? Standard run-of-the-mill four-poster bed, small vanity. I really should have a bigger one. A chest full of all of my old toys and blankets, and some very nice damask curtains, a small bookshelf full of only the newest and most exciting novels.
Dormer windows, or
Oh, yes, with a nice little seat, a window seat that I can look out over the gardens.
and is this house attached to the academy, or is it separate?
It's a separate cottage.
A cottage,
Mhm.
but with at least 2 stories. So
And yes, of course, you couldn't stay in anything smaller.
right. Yeah, it's not like you're in the attic with the servant.
Never.
You'll notice it's quite deliberate on the plurality of that word.
Well, and ever since they stopped staying the night and we could only hire them for during the day, it's just not the same.
Well, so the party eventually just sort of dies out. You were with Finn too long. Calvin and Millie left early, and eventually everybody petered out except for Vrijeme, who just was kind of doing this thing, just standing there, looking awkward, slightly out of place. Place, definitely place. So, eventually, I guess you just have to go home unless you're going to do something about your cousin.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that I waved them off back to the boarding house. And actually, I do want to go home and speak with my mother.
Okay, great. So you get home and your mother is still sitting in the parlor glowering. How rude of your father to leave us all alone all night long. This professor was his friend. I don't know who he is. What could that man have that's more important than this? Professor Dabney came all the way from Miskatonic University to lecture at our school, and to not even be there. He better have a damn good reason. There better be money in it.
Mumsy, first of all, don't you look lovely this evening? You're positively radiant. But also, I'm not so sure that the professor is here solely for the lecture.
Whatever do you mean, girl?
Well, you see, I was talking with that young nephew of his, and oh, Mumsy, there's not really a pleasant way to say this. Do you remember that conversation we had a few years back when I was coming into my womanhood, and you said that I was eventually going to need to go to Miskatonic University and find myself a suitable graduate in the most modern way possible?
Yes, I mean, that's how it's done now in the good families. In my day, you would have gone to a finishing school, and then we would have arranged cotillions and dances and balls, and you would have met someone charming and of a good family and a good trade. Now
Well,
everybody has to be industrious.
well, I may have moved the plan forward a bit with the nephew.
Phoebe?
There's a reason, I swear. I should have started with the reason. The nephew is very, very interested in Philip's death. Do you remember last season when you and Daddy had all of those angry conversations about Philip that you didn't want me to listen in on, although I kind of still did?
Phoebe, first
Mumsy?
off, I am disappointed in you eavesdropping. Second, I don't know what you're talking about. She clearly does, but she's not going to say anything. And third, a professor's nephew? Don't be ridiculous, Phoebe. We have bigger plans for you than that. You need to marry into a good family, one that will be able to take care of you and support us.
Well, Mumsy, I wasn't necessarily talking about marriage.
Were you engaging in subterfuge? Were you staking your honor on some silly game?
I don't think it's a silly game, Mumsy. I think that the professor and his nephew are here to investigate all of those things that you and Daddy discuss that you don't want me listening to. And please don't pretend. Like, I know that things have not always been on the up and up for the Greenwoods and that I have my part to play, but I also know that Daddy is doing his level best, or worst, as it may be, to take things into his own hands. And in some small way, you are doing it too. And I am just trying to do the same. And if that means protecting our family in this way, I'm just trying to help.
Philip was a very foolish boy who had very old-fashioned ideas about how the world works. We've gone away from those days. We don't... You know, this comes of your father's side of the family.
But Mumsy, there's something going on, and I know that you won't... Why won't you just treat me like the adult that I am? I'm not a child anymore. I'm 18.
I don't want to have anything to do with these done witcheries. We are a proper Kingsport family.
This is going to be so weird. I'm going to try to mesmerize my mother.
Be careful what you wish for. Please to roll.
Yep. Let's see how this goes.
This is a plus hot, huh?
That's a 14.
Wow. Okay, good. What do you want your mumsy to do?
Yeah, I think that I like cross the room and I just like she's sitting on the sofa, so I just like bend over, put my hand on like the sofa behind her and glare into her eyes, and they take on that golden glow again. And I say, Mumsy, we are not going to play these games anymore. You're going to tell me why these strangers would come into our town asking all of these questions about a dead boy and mentioning all of these strange secret societies like, what was it, like Squirrel in Shoggoth or whatever it was. You need to trust me. I want to help.
She sort of stares ahead and like, it's your father's side of the family. They're never free of that Tate. He promised when we got married, but things didn't work out. He took up the old ways. Philip was interested in all those things. I don't know how he died. Something happened when he went to Miskatonic.
Just to clarify, you're talking about two separate Philips, right? Like,
yes. Philip.
Cool.
Philip the kid, not H. Philip, not Philip your father.
Okay, cool, because I thought my dad was dead for a second. I was like,
No. We didn't change the timeline that much. We just changed it in a single, very noticeable way.
Okay. Yeah, I think that. And are you sure there's nothing you are not telling me, or not something you're hiding because you think I can't handle it, or because you want me to go along with your plan, or something like that?
No, I hate that side of your father's family. It's why I've kept you from the attic.
I give like a frustrated sigh, and I stand up, still maintaining eye contact, and I say, Mumsy, I think that it would be better if you just remembered that I came home late and you scolded me. And also, you have a very strong suspicion that the staff is not cleaning the school properly, so you want them to come in early tomorrow and do an extra thorough job in the auditorium.
Yes, you're an impertinent girl, always impertinent. You will be the ruin of what's left of our fortune.
I love you too, Mummy. And
Does
then
not answer.
Then I break eye contact, and I make my way upstairs, and I keep going upstairs.
So the attic door is locked. Was wollen Sie tun?
I am going to see about finding a key in my father's study.
Cool. Why didn't you roll to keep that?
That is a plus cool, so that is a 10.
Excellent. All right, so you have no trouble because you have a butter knife to jimmy open his desk and find the key ring that's buried way at the back of the drawer. But with that, you're able to climb back up the stairs. Strange that you never actually ever wanted to go into this attic before.
I think about all of the times where my mother used like reverse psychology and said like, oh yes, go help the servants, or oh yes, you should see how the other half lives, or all these other things, and I just never wanted to. She played me like a fiddle.
All right, so you unlock the door and the hinges creak very loudly. It's clear that they have not been oiled in a long time.
I make my way in. I think, oh my god, we're gonna make this so old-fashioned. I have a candle, like a single candle in like a candle holder, and I raise it high above my head to try to get the lay of the land.
You're in a bedroom? I mean, that's what you think it is. Like, there's sheets tossed over the furniture, and everything is covered in dust. But it looks like it's a bedroom of some kind.
I make my way through it, looking at the furniture and pulling, and I find what is probably like a desk or a bureau or something like that, and I make to pull the dust cover off.
It's a desk with a blotter and lots of little pigeonholes for letters, and some stationery that says "From the desk of the Honorable Finch Greenwood."
I remember some small rumor. Finch was never mentioned that much. He was, the black sheep of the family, and then he just disappeared. So no one really spoke of him. And I start to rifle through the desk drawers to see what I can find. Also totally willing to gaze into the abyss because I'm investigating hardcore right now.
Would you care to gaze into the abyss? We all like it when people gaze into the abyss. And just so I know, what's the question you're asking of the abyss?
I want to know why this room was sealed and what my father hasn't been telling me. Two.
Cool. So you're not really sure exactly how it happens, but at some point you wake up and you're lying on the bed in the room, and the candle has long since gone out. But there's this eerie ghost light from the one corner of the room. And just for a second, you think you see somebody standing there. And they sort of just reach out a hand. And then you're your absolute terror. And then either you fall asleep or you wake back up again, because when the next thing you know, there's the very pale light of early dawn coming through one of the windows.
Of my room or of the attic room?
Of the attic room.
Yeah. I don't know what's happened or how I got here. Well, I know how I got here, but like I look around in confusion, wondering what's happened, and I look back over at the desk. Is it still uncovered? Is there
Everything's exactly how you remember. I mean, apparently you must have pulled some more of the dust rags off. I mean, the dust is all disturbed now. It's very clear that someone's been here.
Okay, great, wonderful.
Yeah. No, not a problem. Things are fine. Everything is fine.
Mm-hmm. That seems like a good scene break.
Yeah. So I think maybe we should just pick up in homeroom, because we got one of those, right? Actually, this was Friday, so no, we can't. So where do you want to go today, my little chickadees?
I think I should dig deeper on the professor and on that unpleasant person who I think threatened me.
He most certainly did. I mean, some stuff you can find out right away because you're in the same boarding house. So it doesn't take much work for you to get a quick peek at the ledger and discover that it's a Professor Dabney, which you knew, and his nephew Finn, and a guy named Jack Wrigley that apparently was the one who threatened you.
Yeah, I'm going to use the dig deeper move on
Oh, that's
Jack.
right. You have a whole thing on that, right?
Uh-huh. And I'm real curious about the professor, but like I'm going to get to talk to him. It isn't polite to threaten people. Phoebe taught me that, and Wendy says she's right.
Hang on a sec. I was just reading something. Yes. So why don't you please gaze into the abyss?
Okay, so I rolled a 7, my darkest +2, and I add one more, so that's a total of 10.
10 is excellent. 10 her up. So cool. I have to tell you a secret, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, secret of that human with the gun.
They sure expected to find weirdness in Kingsport. Not you necessarily, but they came here expecting that they were going to find something. But you don't think they had any certain idea of what they were looking for. But if you are at all weird in this town, this could be very dangerous for you because you don't know this, but they are not messing around here.
Intruder. I give him condition intruder.
Okay, hang on one sec. I'm going to make a note of that, and I have to look at this thing. Check Intruder.
I think I need to talk to Mr. Greenwood now.
So, Daryl, what is it that you're asking me about Falling Dynasty? Because I'm not sure I'm seeing how that move is supposed to work.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Cool. So for my sex move, if your family learns that you've had sex with someone, that person becomes part of your family's failing dynasty.
Oh, yes. Sounds like Vrijeme is going to visit his cousin. So why don't we pick up there? So I think Vrijeme, you arrive at the Greenwoods house, and as you have after you finally figured it out, you do use the servant's entrance.
I'm not even sure I know it's the servant's entrance. I just know it's an entrance that doesn't involve phasing.
And it's the one that they don't yell at you when you use it.
The other one probably involves phasing, and I don't realize it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Cordelia cannot keep you away from the table since you're putatively family. But, so, Phoebe, what do you just come down for breakfast as if nothing has happened?
Oh yeah, I think that there's one of those things where it's like if I had parents that cared, they'd probably wonder that I was not that chatty or talkative, or they'd be like, why does she seem so withdrawn this morning? But I don't, so I'm just having my tea in silence.
Is Mr. Greenwood at the table?
No, he has finished his breakfast and is working in the study.
Oh, okay. Then after breakfast, I'm going to knock on the study door since, if I understand correctly, he is the person who needs to know the math I just did.
Before you can knock on the door, I grab your fist and I grab your hand and I pull it back. It's like, Daddy doesn't like to be disturbed on weekends.
There's a problem now.
Oh, what do you know about a problem?
There's a professor. I like the professor. He is nice. We will talk now Monday, but there's a man with a gun with him, and he's an intruder. I do not like him.
What do you what do you mean about the professor? Because there's something about the professor. Tell me what you mean, Vrijeme. Come this way, and I like drag you away from Papa's
Sure.
study. Yeah.
The professor is nice and likes languages and math, and we can talk about math together now Monday. But the man with the gun does not want me talking with the professor, even though the professor wants me talking with the professor. And the man with the gun thinks there are wrong things in Kingsport, but he is not Kingsport. He's an intruder. He is the wrong thing.
That was a lot to take in, Vrijeme. Can you just a moment? First of all, the man with the gun, is he young and, roguishly handsome in a charming and simplistic way, or is there someone else?
Uh, do you mean, is he the man who is with you at the party? He is not that man. That man, it seems nice. I do not know if he is nice, but he seems nice.
He was very nice for a while. Yes. Anyway, there's another man who has a gun.
Yes.
Okay.
Jack, what was Jack's last name?
Wrigley.
Jack Wrigley.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, Vrijeme. You seem to know more than I gave you credit for.
They're staying now at the boarding house. It is a matter of my position in the space-time continuum. It is no reflection on you.
None taken, I think. But Vrijeme, you're right. I think that there's something going on with the professor and with his nephew, and apparently with the man with the gun. I think that they are, you said it right, they are intruders. And I know you said nice things about the professor, but I don't think you should trust him.
But he was invited.
I wonder about that, actually. You see, do you remember, that seat that no one wants to sit in at the front of the classroom, the one where the boy died?
Yes.
Yes, so he was the roommate of the professor's nephew, and they are here asking a lot of questions about Philip, who died. And not the kind of innocent questions that make me think that they're good people.
What questions are the bad questions?
The ones that don't add up.
Their math is wrong.
Yes, their math is wrong.
And should we not tell your father about the math? Or do you know the equations we should do?
Well, you see, I've recently discovered that that Daddy's math doesn't quite add up either, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
So we should check the math and find the wrongness.
Yes. Yes. So yes. Oh goodness, I don't know the first thing about this. If I was someone dark and broody like that girl, that Agnes girl in our class, maybe I'd know something. Maybe if I read more of those like dreadful crime novels or something. But
she knows things, but I don't know if she knows about the intruders. I don't know if she's seen any of them.
I mean, does she live at the boarding house too? No, I don't remember. Well, maybe she would have an idea. Maybe it would be good to telephone her and invite her for coffee or something.
Yes, I said I would help her with her math.
Good. May I accompany you?
Yes, the three of us. We can do all the math.
That sounds like a plan. or an equation waiting to be balanced.
Yes, yes.
Vrijeme, I'm not sure I understand you any better, but at least I feel like I know how I can talk to you better.
It helps, the equations, yes.
Well, she gives you like a pat on the shoulder. It's like, I'm glad we are coming to understand each other, cousin.
Yes.
So just so we make sure that we are of the same mind on this, we won't talk to Daddy until we know more about his faulty equations.
Right. First we do the math. We don't show him the math until we know the math is right. Yes.
Yes, definitely. People don't like when you correct their math.
I've noticed this. It is disconcerting. Why do they not like their math being right?
They believe they have it right in their own way.
If they're using a different premise from which to derive their equations, they need to explain that.
A lot of people think that merely saying an answer is enough. They don't like to show their work.
But the work is part of the answer.
Well, you know that, and I know that, but, such is life.
So, do I call Agnes or do you do that part of the equation?
Oh, you should definitely call Agnes. I don't think she's very pleased with that comments I made about her dress yesterday.
And where should we do the math?
Away from the cottage. Yes, let's meet at the soda shop.
All right. I will go dial Agnes. Do I have Agnes's number?
Do you not have everybody's number?
Sure, I can derive it.
Yeah. It's just, all you have to do is understand the curvature of the local space-time, and it's an inevitable. Yeah, you can definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can. Your family has a telephone, right, Agnes?
Yeah, I mean they got a shop, so people call them to to arrange stuff, I guess.
Are you working in the shop because it's Saturday morning?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I am.
All right, so
It's a bit of a come down from last night's shenanigans.
So I think your father's with a customer is like, Agnes, just go answer the phone, would you?
Yes, Papa. Hello. Sorry, I'm looking up the name. Murphy's Goods. Where all the goods are good to go. This is Murphy speaking.
I am Vrijeme. We need to do math because I am saying I will help you with your math, and because there are intruders who do not belong in our equation, and because Phoebe is sorry she said the thing about your clothing. She wants to do math at the soda shop.
Okay, so somehow that was 2 sentences. Hold on. You want to do math
At the
because
soda
of
shop.
at the soda shop because there's intruders.
And because I also said I would help you with the other math, the math that you were doing.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
One of the intruders
Phoebe's...
has a gun. I do not like him.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. And you're saying we're doing this with Phoebe.
She says we have to make sure our equations are right. She does not like the intruders either.
Okay. Well, it depends on the intruder, I guess. She sure liked that Bonton lady. Yeah.
There is
fine.
One intruder?
There.
Did I get one of that wrong?
No, there can be multiple intruders for him. It's just knowing more. The equation's not wrong. It's incomplete.
So there are 4 intruders.
There's the man with the gun. There's the flapper
professor,
lady. The professor.
And the young one that Phoebe says is handsome.
Okay. That's good to know, Vrijeme.
So that's 4.
Okay.
I wonder if they were the ones I saw when I stepped sideways.
Okay. All right. Okay. You know what? I'm due for a break in about an hour and a half. I'll meet you at the soda shop then. This is I've not had the best of nights. I'm not feeling great, but I'll come in an hour and a half. Can you even wait that? No, you can't. It's fine.
I can wait. I do not think that they are going to do much on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Are they? That doesn't seem to be how the equations work.
We'll talk about equations. Soda shop.
In 90 minutes.
In 90 minutes, yes. 90,
Okay.
That's an hour and a half. Yes. Also, tell Phoebe I hope her party went well. Did you see that Bonton lady? She's a real hoot. And Agnes hangs up.
She says she will meet us at the soda shop in 88 minutes and hopes your party went well. Well, is it going well, the party? I stepped sideways and there are the things in the angles.
Phoebe takes you by the arm and leads you out of the room and says, "We really need to work on your tenses." And then as the camera is about to cut away, she looks at you and is like, 4? What do you mean 4 intruders?
The professor, the young handsome one, the one with the gun, and a flapper lady?
Oh, well, that just, in retrospect, makes so much sense. There was something so strange about her. People just aren't like that.
They don't flap. She has wings?
We'll work on that too. Don't worry.
Tenses. It's not the tenses. It's the perspective.
Well, so she makes a valiant effort to explain tenses as the camera pans away.
So are we going to cut to this meet?
Yeah.
Okay. So the soda shop's a little bit less crazy today. Just a normal number of young Kingsporters coming in and out. Having the special of the house, which is the triple salted caramel milkshake.
Nice.
You can order it with extra salt if you want. I think Millie Pembleton is there with Calvin in one of the back tables.
Phoebe settles into her seat at the table, looking over her shoulder at Calvin, and Millie's like, "Really, what did I miss?"
Oh, you know how it can be. Sometimes you meet someone and it's just magic.
Well, I'm sure he finds you just bewitching, my dear.
Doesn't he, though? We're thinking about going down to the beach when the weather's nicer, and I'm a little older.
Well, just make sure that your family is nice and grown.
Yeah, one day one day I'm gonna remember this conversation. I think you should have a well-developed fear of water. She turns back to Calvin.
Turns back away from her and just says, "Haven't gotten us yet."
Just the one. Okay. Well, take it away, Scoobies.
When Agnes comes in, she looks quite harried. She's still wearing an apron.
That's right. You and I probably both have a hangover.
More ways than one. But yeah, she's still like she's working, and I think she just kind of like slumps down and just say, "Okay, what's going on here?"
Simply put, there's something, looks back over her shoulder at Millie, fishy about some of these new visitors in Kingsport.
Oh yes, yes. Your flapper lady and her strapping friend. Yes, I had a lovely run-in with them last night. So
Yes, about that. Could you please tell us what's going on? Because I didn't know that Chloe was involved.
oh, involves a strong word. It's more that she just pals around with them. It's endearing. It's almost like she's a pet to them, or maybe they're pets to her. I'm not sure. But either way, they seem to be, well, they know about stuff happening. They know about math, all that fun stuff.
The professor seems nice, but Phoebe says he may not be so nice.
When
Good.
one's associates pulls guns on people, then even their associates should not be trusted.
That's quite a U-turn on Miss Bonton there.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to be totally honest, there was always something that rubbed me the wrong way about her. She seemed far too cosmopolitan in a way that was almost certainly put on. A true flapper wouldn't deign to be so that.
Well, I'll leave it up to you to define what a true flapper is, Greenwood. So
So they don't have wings, even though they're flappers.
it's a term, and it's not literal. Okay, so they're poking their nose in things that shouldn't be. They shouldn't poke into.
What is there to poke into about the
It's a metaphor,
person?
Vrijeme.
No, I know that. I mean, the dead, the one who is dead,
Has
who is
something to do with Philip Liebknecht. You
yes,
remember the student who
but what
graduated
are the
last year?
wrong questions? I mean, do humans not ask why did this person die? I do not understand what
That's what they're asking.
Yes, is this not a question humans are supposed to ask?
No, not at all. Someone dies and you say, "Oh, that's so sad," and then you just accept it and you move on.
That's what they say about deaths of, I don't know, coughs or natural illness. Clearly, Liebknecht died of a way that couldn't be explained.
Lots of people die in ways that can't be explained in Kingsport. We usually just say it was an animal attack or that they wandered off and just never came back.
If they're not as good at math, we could give them an equation to say why that they would then leave.
Unfortunately, it seems that their math is rather good in its own way.
Oh.
I don't fancy the way they blunder into everything and everyone. Their math might be good, but it sucks for the rest of us.
The men, they're staying in the same boarding house. I did not see the woman there.
No, she mentioned she was staying at the hotel. The one on Main Street?
I don't go into that. Your father and your mother both say I should not be in there, that it will hurt their sums.
That's very mummy and daddy.
And
So
I stepped sideways to try to show an equation, but I think my math is off because there were other beings when I stepped into the angled room that was 2 dimensions up from the auditorium and one to the left. And I do not know if the people that are the intruders are the same as the ones that attacked me there. I normally humans cannot do that kind of dimensional shifting, right?
What the hell are you talking about, Vrijeme?
I really have no idea. I don't understand.
I don't
I'm
know what's
simply
happening
going to
here.
have to show them. I can't think of another way to explain. Should I roll with cold?
Are you going to step sideways?
I'm going to try to show them, yes.
Does that mean you're going to try and take them with you?
Of course.
Okay.
Mm.
This will not go poorly at all.
So I'm
God,
rolling
no.
with cold, right?
Yeah, because it's keeping you cool.
So I rolled a 6.
6 even with your +1, huh?
It was a 6 because I have a +1, yes.
Fantastic. So, Vrijeme, you try and step sideways, pulling everybody with you, and you bounce off hard. Except for a moment when you look at Phoebe, Phoebe is not Phoebe. And then it fades.
My equations are wrong.
Did we feel anything?
Well, you've got that terrible headache, and you don't seem to remember anything that happened in the last 15 minutes.
Is that also for me?
No.
Oh.
You just know that something happened and it didn't work. You've got enough trans-dimensional geometry to know that Vrijeme was doing something that he should have been able to do, but something happened.
My equations are all wrong. I thought I knew the math. I am doing this before, and my equations are wrong.
Vrijeme, stop with the math. Also, how did we get here?
We're doing
No.
the equations with Agnes, so we are not bothering your father.
Agnes, when did you get here?
Oh no. I just. Do you know where we are, Greenwood?
Obviously, we are at the soda shop. I just don't remember how we got here. I was on the street and we were walking here, and suddenly I'm here and the seat is already warm and my beverage is half drunk and I don't know what's happening.
When I did the math, I am looking at you and you look like someone else, but you are you, so I thought I had done that part wrong too, so
Well, maybe you're not as good at math as you thought you were.
maybe.
Roll plus cold, please.
Yeah, I'm rolling.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've not had to shut someone down in a while.
I know, with
That's
a Greenwood.
an 11.
Well,
I'm trying to play a nice Greenwood. A
I just
helpful
sort
Greenwood.
of mutter maybe.
So you're not going to take a condition, but you can do whatever cruel and horrible thing you want.
I'm going to give Vrijeme the condition insecure.
An insecure weirdo. Excellent.
An insecure weirdo.
And then Phoebe kind of recovers themselves and doesn't apologize, but just tries to roll through it and says, I would like to talk about Vrijeme's intruder. And is basically like starting the conversation that you've already had.
I don't have time to do this conversation again. Look,
Again.
Let's just say, Vrijeme, maybe you shouldn't do math so willy-nilly next time. Okay, intruders. I've met them. They're kind of loud. They're kind of annoying. They're kind of brutish, honestly. Either to get them to go away, we give them answers, or we give them something that they'll never forget. At least that's how I see it.
Well, what is what? Well, then, but what is the very Kingsport way of providing them with a false proof? Oh goodness, do you hear me? I'm speaking like such a intellectual.
You only have to speak like it for the next couple of hours. Don't worry, Greenwood. Go ahead, Vrijeme.
So, what are we doing then to make them leave?
We're giving them what they want. We're giving them closure. Vrijeme, we'll tell them how H. Philip Liebknecht died. They'll sort them out, and then we can move on.
How is he dying?
He's dead.
Past tense.
How did he die?
Well, if they can figure out themselves, we're not going to find it out for them. We're just going to give them something to satisfy them.
Finn said
How
something
are
about
we
a house.
saying that he died?
Finn said something about a house. He said that they went to a house and something happened and Philip died.
Right.
Where's the house?
Well, I guess we'll have to find that out.
Well,
The
Agnes
newspapers.
looks at Vrijeme like, that's actually brilliant.
Right. Okay. Here's the plan. You find out the nitty-gritty, where he died, how they think he died. I'll cook up something to satisfy them. Is that all? Because I have to get back to work.
Yes. Thank you, Agnes. I know I said some very rude things about your dress yesterday, and I hope that this is, I would like to apologize for that and give you advice about what kinds of frocks to buy in the future if you would appreciate that.
I appreciate it, Greenwood, but I think Agnes is saying this as she's like standing up because she has to go. Her shift is coming up. Appreciate that, Greenwood, but I think I'm good for now. Just tell your dad I hope he didn't stay up too late last night. As she walks away.
What does she mean about my father? And why do they give her such short breaks? That feels like a great place to cut.
Yes. Okay. So how are you going to plan to find out what happened with Philip? That sounds like a job for Vrijeme, because you actually have a move for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the books in the library and look at the now newspapers from last year.
Okay. So you look in the library, you can see Professor Dabney and Finn are in one section of the room looking. They're in obviously the antiquarian section looking at some very old books and ledgers. And one was like, boy, those Pembletons have been here a long time.
That is very curious. They are not looking at the newspapers.
No, they're not.
He's some sort of antiquarian. It's fine. He's probably just looking at like ways of conjugating verbs in some dead language or something.
Okay, then I will look at the newspapers because they're not.
Excellent. Please to roll the digging deeper move.
Okay, so I rolled a 7 plus the 3 is 10.
Wow, you're just really good at this.
This is one thing I am good at.
Owner of that character. The only thing you find for sure that you can definitely has any idea of the location, because everything else is very vague. They're all just, Miskatonic student dies over weekend. Is that apparently there was a report filed by a member of the Massachusetts State Police, and they give the post number, and the post number is in fact local, but it's not local to Miskatonic. It's local to your area, but the MSP tends to patrol the backwoods areas.
Well, it's not surprising that it's local to here because the intruders are here, but yes, MSP do not patrol here.
But you have the post number, so you could go and talk to people there if you wish.
That seems like the next step to doing the math.
Excellent. You successfully used the library use to get your clue. All right. So, are you gonna go do that, or is by yourself, or is Phoebe coming with you, or how is this working?
Phoebe is definitely coming with you. This is going to involve talking to people, and we've established that that's more my purview.
You have a motor car or a carriage or something?
We're able to convince Father to let us take the buggy.
Oh, are you?
I mean, convince as in I will beg forgiveness later and use my big blue eyes, and Daddy will eventually forgive me.
Excellent. Okay, so you
Since
drive.
all time is now, it does not matter if we do it in reverse order.
So you drive out to the MSP post. They're a little surprised to see somebody actually drive a buggy out, but so the desk sergeant looks at you like, "What can I do for you, kids?"
Phoebe just immediately launches into like trying to pull all of her like Kingsport upper crust. Like, oh yes, we were just coming to, we are students at the preparatory school, and we were dear friends of a friend who passed away here, and we really wanted to come here and pay our last respects.
Wait, no kids died in the post. What are you talking? Who are you talking about?
Oh, I'm of course mentioning my dear friend Philip Liebknecht.
Oh shit! You knew that kid? So sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
She tears up a little bit, like dabs a handkerchief at her eyes.
Yeah, that was weird.
Weird?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't expect to find. Oh yeah. I don't know that I should talk to you about it. It's still an active investigation. You can tell just the way he's talking. He's like, it's an active investigation that no one has any interest in working on.
And I take a step closer and I like dab at my eyes again, and then when I look up, they go all golden.
Here we go.
Yeah. And that's a 9. Okay, cool.
You're gonna have to hiss.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
civilly talk in the language of the pay.
Mm-hmm. My dear sir, I assure you that my friend and I are very trustworthy and made of sterner stuff than what you probably assume some young people like us are made of.
It's just no one really likes to go up that part of Dunwich.
Phoebe tries very hard not to blink, very hard not to show any flinch on her face, and says, "Yes, Dunwich. It would be very good to know exactly whereabouts in Dunwich."
We found the kid at that house. I don't know if he died there, but we found him at the house.
Which house?
And he starts to seize.
Blink, yeah, and immediately rush forward and try to fan him or something.
Whoa, what the hell? Oh, I don't feel so good.
Sir, you were talking about a house, and then you had some sort of fit.
Yeah. That's weird. I should probably go talk to a doc.
Well, yes. Before you do, though, my friend and I would very much like to complete our pilgrimage. We've come ever such a long way. Could you perhaps pass us along to a neighbor or something, someone who might be able to tell us a little bit more?
He looks like he's really trying to say something, and finally he just like, the Goodwin store. Everybody goes to the Goodwins. You could talk there. Excuse me. I gotta go to the can.
Oh yes. Of
You
course.
should be seeing a doctor.
And I think that before anyone else can get like a good look at us or understand, like start to be suspicious about what happened, I grab Vrijeme and like drag him out of the MSP. And say, well,
Is it okay going to Dunwich? You said you are not being caught dead there.
yes. Well, I mean, that's just because it's so run down and not modern like Kingsport is. I would never be caught dead in a place like that. But needs must.
For the equations.
For the equations, yes. I'm more than happy to attempt to keep my cool at this point.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm afraid that I'm going to reveal the the sordid truth about the fact that the Greenwoods are descended from Dunwich and escaped the witch trials to arrive in Kingsport.
Quite the opposite. You fled Kingsport and founded Dunwich.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Remember,
Phoebe,
Fortune came from Salem.
that's right. Okay.
She just brought another witch trial along with her, because
Okay. Yeah, I'm afraid that the Dunwich connection will be revealed, and that I'm going to be the one to reveal it because I can't keep my blabbering mouth shut. And thankfully, that's a 9.
So you're either going to say something now, or you're going to go home and call it a day for right now. No more running off to Dunwich. You just need a break.
Vriema's already weird, and no one will believe them if they say anything anyway. So there is a certain sect of the Greenwood family who absconded from Kingsport and founded Dunwich, and we don't like to talk about them. We pretend that they are completely unrelated to us, and we have nothing to do with them, as I'm sure that they are perfectly happy to have nothing to do with us.
We have to keep the equations looking that way.
Yes. Yes.
Because we don't want the intruders looking at us.
Yes. It's very important that the intruders do not realize that we are variables in the equation and do not try to solve for us.
Yes, it's part of the false math we're doing for them.
Yes.
So
it's not false if we just set them to solving the wrong equation.
It's a mistake if they try to solve the wrong equation, but it's the mistake we want them to make. Okay.
Yes. You still arrive at an answer. It's fine.
Yes.
So how's Agnes doing?
Yeah, so while the two of them are going off on their adventures and their hijinks and whatnot, Agnes is working, talking to people, just working at the shop. It's all good. Yeah, they have hijinks. Agnes has low jinks. I think finally at the end of the workday, she gets like a moment to herself. Well, not really to herself because she's still living with her parents, but she has a moment in her bedroom. They're looking for material things. Agnes is just gonna go straight to the source. So she's gonna go to like this like mirror she set up. She's gonna gaze into the abyss, and she's gonna find out exactly what happened to Philip Liebknecht. Not to invalidate what y'all were doing, but this is for her own self, for her own means. Yeah.
Please to roll plus dark.
Yeah, I think what this looks like is like Agnes has her mirror is like cracked Also, her room is like very clean. It's sparse. It's not messy at all, except for a mirror that's cracked. And she's kind of like said, "It's fine. I can deal with that." It's missing like a pane, so whenever she wants to use it to gaze into the abyss, she finds like the pane that she has like hidden. It's like this shard, and she kind of just places it on the mirror, and then it turns whole again. And let's see what she finds. This could turn out really badly. All right, yeah, that's an 8. It's still something. Well, I say something. They're confusing and alarming. So
It's nighttime, and you see Philip running past some standing stones, and he's shouting ahead. You can't quite make out what he's calling, but it could be Finn, Finn. As he passes these standing stones, he like turns around and you get his POV for a second, and there's like this big guy that you can't see anything. It's so dark and windy and rainy, but you can see there's a big man like stalking up the hillside. There's something wrong with his legs. He walks funny, but other than that, that's what you see. Finn turns around and something grabs him. But fun fact, you can't see what grabs him, even though he's staring straight at it. And that's when the mirror explodes. And you tumble into darkness. When you finally regain consciousness, it's dawn. And you hear your mother crying in the kitchen.
I'm gonna walk to the kitchen. Not sure what day it is because it was dusk when I looked at the mirror. I guess it's the next day. Mama, what's going on?
Oh my God.
What's wrong? What's wrong?
We thought you were dead. We heard a noise in your room when we came in, and then there was just blood and glass everywhere. And you weren't here. We looked everywhere. We called the police. Nobody knew where you were.
I'm
Hey, fun fact here, Agnes. Literally no time has passed for you. It's like you fell into darkness and then you woke up. You're not even sure you were unconscious. You're just aware there was a discontinuity. But like when you like play it back in your mind, it's like there's no time passed of any significant amount.
I just finished working. It was the 13th. I went to my bedroom and
You've been gone like almost 24 hours.
Well, I'm here now. You called the police? Is it?
Yes, of course we did. We thought you'd been kidnapped or something.
I had a really bad idea. Let's see if Agnes is a good enough actor. God. Okay, I'm gonna spell out the idea and then see what happens. My idea is that like Agnes will like think of this and will say yes, she was kidnapped. There are these like new people who came into town. If that's okay with folks.
You're gonna need to roll to keep your cool to lie to your weeping mother.
Yeah. Oh, I should mention something about my mom and her backstory because that's kind of like the other big continuity thing I mentioned. My mom, whose name is also Eliza, she the shenanigans that she was up to was that like, well, she had a sister who went missing, and well, I guess her family was tense at the time. Instead of looking for her sister, she decided to go into the woods and make some deal with something there and get herself a new sister. That also didn't work out well. Yeah. So that's the. I feel like it's a ridiculous throwback. I'm just mentioning that now. Okay, I'm gonna roll to make this lie. Depending on the roll, let's see how well Agnes acts this out. Yeah, no, it's a 4. Here we go. I'm fine with that. I think I rolled 1 hit. Well, 2 hits, I guess.
Remember to take your experience.
Yeah.
Eliza looks at you and she starts crying again, but it's like a different set of tears. I knew you must have found them. How could you do this? Don't you understand? Those were not meant to be found. And now you have done something terrible. This is not something you want to do. Trust me on this one.
I think that's just gonna make Agnes mad. Trust you? You've not given me a reason to trust you. You just told me to keep my head down and do as you say, and you've curtailed me at every point. What makes you think I could trust you when you couldn't even tell me about what you were up to?
Don't you think I don't know what you tried to do? I know what you tried to do. Don't you think I looked into it too? Time travel? You cannot mess with the key in the gate. You will lose every time. I learned that much to my displeasure.
Well, maybe that's just because you lost. That's not what's going to happen to me, Mother. After all, I have you to learn from.
If you had learned from me, you would not be doing what you're doing. I managed to lose 2 sisters. And that's either carelessness or foolishness.
Well, Mother, unlike you, I don't have much to lose.
You're to go to your room and stay there. And don't think I don't know ways to keep you there.
I think Agnes will go because...
Let's say, would this be an appropriate time for you to be in your darkest self?
It seems like a good time.
Okay, so maybe you go in your room, but you're just going to sit there and brood about this a little bit. And
a little bit? I mean, a lot of little bit.
Yes, because the time of subtlety and patience is over. So, actually, what do you want to do? So you're in your darkest self, but
yeah.
What do you want to do?
Yeah.
You're not prevented from being, strategic in your darkest self.
Yeah. I know what her long-term goal is. I just need to figure out how to get there. Screw building that portal. I have other designs now. I think I'm just going to... It says here, just cast hexes willy-nilly. All your hexes have unexpected side effects and more effective than you're comfortable with. Okay, so if I'm stuck in my room, I want to know what Greenwood and Vrijeme has been up to. So I'm going to take that time globe that I took from Vrijeme, and I'm going to just take a nap and see what he's up to. Unexpected side effects? I don't know about that. I'm just doing what I want.
Okay, so what you're going to notice is that you grab the time globe and sit there staring into it, and the next thing you know, you're standing on the street near the soda shop and you're watching yourself walk swiftly away from the soda shop heading back to the store.
I think I see that and I'm just so fed up with all this nonsense.
I mean, you're not seeing this as a vision. You're standing on the street in the middle of Kingsport. Just, yesterday. Well, today, but, yesterday in terms of the conversation you just had.
I'm going to run up to me.
Oh, shit.
And I'm going to try to get her attention.
Roll to keep your cool. I'm not sure which one of you you're rolling for, but it's one or both of you.
Come Cool. Wow, I never go into my darkest self. This is fun.
Have we
So
never gotten
good.
you into your darkest self? Not even
Oh, I think.
not even Alice?
Oh no, I was never when she was too good for this earth. Yeah, I wrote a 4, so actually no, that's a 3, technically, but that doesn't matter.
That's awesome. I just need to see something.
If somehow Agnes doesn't make it to the end of the series, I'm gonna be very surprised. But no, actually not really, given how she's acting. But
Okay. You run up. She looks at you and she takes off down an alley.
I keep following.
All right. You run down the alley and you don't see her initially, so you're like looking around, and that's when she comes out of the haystack that's piled up there behind you and wraps Wendy's scarf around your neck and starts pulling back on it. Take one harm.
Okay.
I told you I know what to do when you meet yourself in a time travel sloop. One of us can't be here.
Okay. All right. So that's how it is. We both have a -1 in volatile. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not hurting you that much, but take one harm from the surprise and
yeah, take. Yeah. Unfortunately, I know, and Agnes knows, and that Agnes presumably knows that we're both, we both bruise like a peach.
well,
I
obviously you're
think
gonna have one of you is gonna have to get scratched on the face so that the viewers at home can tell which one is which.
yeah. I think I'm gonna reach up and like try to like scratch her in the cheek, to like get her to like let go.
Surprisingly enough, it's extremely easy for her to take exactly one harm right now.
Yeah, I wonder how.
So are you Agnes Prime or are you the original Agnes and this is Agnes Prime?
What? Why? What's the difference? Okay,
I don't know.
Yeah. This is a lot. I think the Agnes we're following is. I'm linearly. I think this is how it's gonna work. Agnes in the shop goes do that dark vision thing. We'll end up 24 hours in the future. We'll go back in time. We'll get into a fight with her mom. Go pick up the time globe, and we'll end up back, and then we'll see where we are. So right now, the Agnes I'm playing is the Agnes.
Right. So this is Agnes Prime because you're now on a prime timeline. Technically, you're in a closed time-like loop, but
Yeah. We just got to close the loop.
Yeah, definitely. Though, technically speaking, the future that you just saw could not happen now.
That's true. Yeah, because I don't
probably want to think about that one.
Yeah, true. Why did I go? Damn, Agnes.
This is the worst timeline.
It's not great. No. Why did? Sorry. So I'm trying to figure out how to like wrap this up soon enough so we can go back to the others. I think Agnes. The Agnes we're focused on scratches other Agnes' cheek. Will try to like. Well, obviously she's moving to kill, so I'm gonna at least try to like slam her against the wall to like get her to let go.
I mean, technically, you have a sympathetic token on her.
Myself?
Well, you literally anything in your pockets.
Yeah. The thing is, like, you need those tokens. You can only expend them during a secret ritual. If I try to like cast a hex on her, she might do that. I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I'm one of my darkest self. I think I tried to slam her against the alleyway, and I think just a scuffle because I think she knows what I'm trying to do because she's me. But I think because she's trying not to catch my eyes. But I think I will. I will inflict these illusions on her as well. Because the thing is, like, Agnes has never had this inflicted on her. That's why she always does it to people, like to Miss Bonton, because she's curious what they see. She's never thought of doing it to herself.
Yes, please to roll.
Ooh, that's a lot.
So it will be easily reversible, but it also will have weird side effects, right?
Oh yeah.
And you also cast it on yourself so that you see you can see what they can see.
Hell
so
yeah.
what happens is the two of you looking around, and suddenly there's a whole crowd of of Agnes's around you,
Jeez.
and they're all mirroring you. But sometimes there's like a ripple where one is like fat, one is out of sync with the others. So,
Is it like that scene in The Last Jedi with all those rays? But even
yeah.
more
So
confusing.
Agnes says, "What did you do?" And it's like, "What did you do? Do."
I did what we do best. I followed my instincts.
Well, now we can't tell who is who. Which one is which? Are you the reflection, or the prime, or what's going on here? My head hurts. And she starts to get a nosebleed, and so do you.
Agnes. I put my hands on her shoulder. Easy enough. We're both the same height. It's fine. Moments like this, it'll pass. This is just part of the price, Agnes. Remember, this is better than what... Do you remember being at that shop? Working there? Would you rather do this or would you rather do that, Agnes?
She looks at you like, "You're scaring me. Something's wrong with you."
Something's wrong with you. You're not. I'm not. I wouldn't be scared of this.
Scared of this, scared of this, scared of this.
Don't tell me you're scared of this.
I'm not scared of this. I'm scared of you. Something's wrong. You've given in.
Isn't that what we're supposed to do?
No.
Is that what we're meant to do?
No, we have to be careful.
Sound like Vrijeme. Well, if you have to be careful, what are we going... Tell me then, Agnes, what are we supposed to do?
You should go back to wherever you came from.
And what are you going to do now, knowing this is going to happen? If you don't follow through...
Well, wait,
Agnes,
I mean, if you go back to before you went back, then maybe you won't go back and... we should talk to Vrijeme.
He's just a silly little thing. He has nothing to tell us. Nothing we can't find out ourselves.
Well, look, wait a minute, you're from the future. You could tell me what happens when I go to see this guy tonight. If I go. The crazy lady on the head.
I think Agnes's laugh is like a bit sheepish. Just like, well, about that. Me being here meant that meeting didn't really happen.
Oh, that's real good, Agnes. That's excellent.
No, it's not great. I was really hoping to go to that meeting.
Well, so was I, obviously.
Yeah. Well, it's not like we're not going to see her again. You remember what we planned, right?
Of course. But now everything's changed. You being here is an extra variable that we don't need to worry about.
It's a variable or it's an asset. After all, we were never going to steal her book with just the one of us.
Well, that's true. But we might need more than just what we know. Or even what Mother knows.
I think we've outgrown Mother at this point.
Well, there's two ideas that come to my mind. I don't know about your mind. One may be dangerous and one is difficult. I don't know which one that you think is going to be more worthwhile. The first is Millie's people have an extensive library of texts, but they kind of only share that with their own religion. The other is that Finn's uncle has library privileges at Miskatonic.
Always wanted to meet Professor Hughes Dabney.
And Phoebe likes Finn, I think. Does Phoebe like people?
Well, Vrijeme said she finds him handsome. So
She
let's
would.
start.
She would.
Right now, that poor Greenwood, she's being bounced all many sort of different directions. Not hard to make her bounce to ours.
Yes. But maybe we can use that.
I think that she looks Agnes, my Agnes, looks like towards the sky, and it's getting dark, and says, "Oh, it's getting late. You have a date with a mirror soon."
If I don't make that date, maybe what will happen? It will create a change, won't it? Will you just
Possibly.
vanish?
I might vanish, or you might bring another one of us into this.
Well,
put in another head.
Let's not do that.
Oh,
I don't think I don't want to use this mirror. Why? Besides, what's the point? You already know what's going to happen. You can just tell me. We don't have to use the mirror.
all right. You don't have to use the mirror, but I do need you to talk to our mother.
All right. I don't think you're really up for it right now.
No, but maybe you'll see my perspective better when you do.
Why? Did you have a conversation with Mother? What did you do? You know, if you screw up my future and I'm going to have to live with your mistakes, that's not fair. That's not fair. I've already decided not to make one of your mistakes.
Don't worry, Agnes. I trust in everything that you do. You're not gonna do what I do because you already know.
Well, then what do I have to
that I
talk
did
with
something.
Mom about?
All right.
You just
just
told me
need-
she's holding us back.
Okay. All right. Okay. You don't have to say clearly. You don't have to do what I do then.
Clearly.
Look, I have to go find out what Greenwood and Vrijeme have been up to. Okay, and we sort
Well,
of.
then I can go and do something else.
Okay.
Should I go and talk to Finn?
Actually, since you're closer to them, why don't you talk to Greenwood and Vrijeme? I'll talk to Finn.
Right. Didn't Vrijeme say something about he was doing something for the professor, right?
I think they were staying at the same boarding house, or they were.
Maybe we
Okay,
don't
that
even
sounds
need to use Finn. We can use Vrijeme.
Certainly be easier for the two of us.
I like the way you think, Agnes.
Well, glad to finally meet someone who does. Agnes.
Could you get rid of these things now, by the way? 'Cause it's really distracting.
Oh, yeah, sure. And she clicks her fingers in front of her eye, of Agnes's eyes.
You realize that you're like actually offset slightly from each other. Like, oh, okay. Sorry, we were talking to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking to the right Agnes. Yeah.
Right. So I'll go to see Vrijeme. Do you want to go talk to Mother? Since you already know what she was going to say, maybe you can take a different tack. Of course, you're a little dark and scary right now. So, should keep that in mind.
I think talking to Mother will turn out differently this time. Got some perspective on my side.
This is great, actually, because one of us can stay out past curfew every night now.
Yes, well, it comes with the trouble of making sure nobody knows about this thing. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
All right, then.
Yeah,
Well,
that
that seems like a place to stop.
I'm sorry that all escalated.
What did you do? What
I-
did you
On Agnes's timeline, Vrijeme and Phoebe are just about to leave the soda shop to take the car. Just putting that out there.
I think what happens, like when we came back, we synced back into where you were, which is you just left from talking to your man.
Let's just do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, the 24-hour thing hasn't happened yet. Well, it happened in my Agnes's perspective, and then she came back in time.
We just rewound. Got it.
Yeah. So we're back in sync. Except there are two Agneses now.
You're Agnes plus 24. Well, thank you, everyone. That got weird. The only question is one of you actually backwards? I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. So cool. So we'll pick this up next week. Hopefully Serafina will be back and just look at us with that expression that says, "What did you do?" So, all right then. Thank you guys all so very, very much. This was delightful. I'm really digging your Doki Doki Literature Club's backgrounds here.
Yeah.
Well, I know that's not where you're getting them from, but trust me, this game will turn into Doki Doki.
Yay.
Maybe. Except more meta, because I have nowhere to go but up at this point.
No, that's very on brand for these backgrounds anyway. It's fine. Yeah.
God. Can't believe we're doing this tradition. I have to talk to some eldritch being and contend with them. Keeps happening. When that lady mentioned Philip Greenwood signing the book 40 years ago, I did some math, and that would have been like 1886.
What in how?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, it doesn't really matter how they get the Greenwoods, just matters, that they do.
It's just so it ends up with the Greenwoods getting got. Because it's their lot in life.
Hey, the first
It's
Phoebe
just-
was very nice. She ran a herbalist and healing shop in Kingsport.
There was also the whole accidentally cursing her cousin thing, but, water under the bridge or in the deep.
She
as
was
it were.
just being little old her.
It was an accident.
Yeah, that's why pencils have erasers and yep. And there's no dispel magic in Cthulhu. Wow. So that was super easy, barely an inconvenience. Yeah, I'm on tonight, gotta tell you.
But, yeah, I just wanted to just make sure I had a man on the inside, as it were. Yeah, and so like that sound of wind and rustling leaves, like
It makes you
ushers
sound
forth
like Moira Rose, okay, baby?
So, my dear sir, I haven't watched Schitt's Creek in a couple of years. I forget. All I remember is Bebe. So
Maybe I'm gonna just put it out here. It was all the magic rituals you were doing in the woods.
you say magic rituals, I say female bonding. What are you gonna do?
I mean, there was you're definitely stuck together at some point. I mean, it's always nice when someone remembers which game they're playing.
I'm not here to play Call of Cthulhu. I'm sorry.
You're the witch. I'm the Cerberus. It's different.
It took her. And then
I don't know. One of you is going to have to spend the weekend in the time machine, and then nobody's going to understand anything. You're going to have to go look it up on Wikipedia. Technically, you're plus no time. Wow, I did not think that we were going to end up doing Primer, but okay, sure.
I'm so sorry.